Okay, we are here. We are doing some contracts here just to kind of show you what is going to be happening here today. We're going back to Gilly. The guys are still on Gilly. They're where we left them. They are sitting on the surface. And we have a whole new bevy of contracts, including Explore Gilly, where we have to go on an orbital spacewalk, easy. Transfer crew between vessels, easy, except for the fact that we only have one vessel there. And rendezvous two vessels, which will just happen in this. So we're launching a ship to Gilly that will allow us to do that. In addition to that, we are going to put a satellite in orbit around Eve. We are going to put a satellite in orbit around Gilly. We're going to put another satellite in orbit around Gilly. And I think I actually need to fiddle with the ship a little bit because I think I only have 2 satellites on this thing, not 3. But then we're going to... I hopefully have fixed this thing, so we'll start getting asteroids. We'll find out on the way to Gilly. And then we're going to do these things, and we'll just get them as we do the rest of the things. So let's head to the VAB here. I built the ship already, but in building the ship, I don't think I paid attention to the fact that I needed a 3rd satellite. I'm not 100% sure I have a way to put a 3rd satellite in this guy because he's getting a little full. Let's go ahead and open up Gilly 2. Not Gilly 2 Sat. It's a totally different ship. Here's Gilly 2. It's actually a little bit smaller than Gilly 1 because all it's doing is sending this little dinky ship here. This is our rendezvouser. It's got a couple extra docking ports on it in order to take them off and put them on other things if we want to. It's also got these 2 satellites that are tilted relative to each other so that we can fit them under the fairing here. And that's it. I actually agree with myself that we don't have room for another satellite. We could toss a satellite on top. What do we got here? We got the resource scanner satellite. What is this here? Let's see. Materials bay. That's this guy. Then we've got, so we don't have to worry about him. We'll get that. Polar orbit of Gilly, resource survey scanner, and a thermometer. And I just remembered this guy needs a thermometer. Would kind of suck if we got him all the way up there and he didn't have a thermometer. Let's just put a thermometer on the other side. That's a little annoying that green dot is there, but that's fine. Just a thermometer on the other side of this from the... yeah, that looks like it's actually opposite. Okay. So that's this guy. Then we're exploring Gilly. Then we're going to put a satellite in around Eve. We need a mystery goo, a thermometer, and another resource scanner, which is super annoying. If we threw a mystery goo on this guy, he could do both, but I'm trying to not do that kind of thing. I'm trying to not double up on contracts. So let's take that off, which I didn't want to do. Let's take a copy of him, which is what I did want to do, and plap him on the top of this guy. And what do we got here? He needs a mystery goo, and that's it. If he gets a mystery goo, he has what he needs. Now, where are we going to put that mystery goo? That is the question, because that's going to off-center this guy quite a bit. So let's go ahead and put it on him. This is probably less. I could kind of be cheesy and put it on here. And I think I'm going to. That should be centered. And then we can slap that on too. I'm pretty sure the scientists at Kerbal Space Center could figure out how to do that. Put that in there. Just to make it nice and centered. Then we got to fix the fairing. Let's see, edit the fairing. Start, let's just bring it in just a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then close it off. There we go. Now that is a tall ship. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm getting a little scared. We had about 600 meters per second on my test launch extra, so I'm hoping that will carry this thing up. We'll find out when we get up there. Let's go ahead and save this guy, And we do have an engineer that we are sending, Obdus. There we go. Obdus Kerbin is heading up, not to Gilly. He is merely going up to the space station that I've built up there off camera. That I'll show you. It's nothing special. But he's heading up there in order to. I probably should have checked staging. He's heading up there in order to be a second engineer up there, so we can build things a little bit easier out of parts. They can move 2-ton parts around. Okay, so we got this going, which is fine. We got this, then this is going. We're gonna lose that, and everything else is on its own thing. So that all looks good. Let's set this up the way we like it. Let's bring this out. Turn our computer on, and in 3, 2, 1, launch. Okay, still pretty good boost here. What is our TWR? Right now, 1.5. That's far more than we need. So let's tilt this over. Let's be fairly aggressive with the gravity turn, I think is probably wise. Get this down to 10. Maybe even a little bit farther before locking it to prograde. I think that should be fine right there. And now it's just wait for this guy to get to orbit and make sure we don't screw anything up too bad. I like the look of this guy. I got the orange stripe here, then everything's gray above, everything's white below. I could have made this gray too, I guess, but too late now. The fuel in these guys is draining into this tank, which keeps this tank full. So when we drop the solids, this is still full, which is nice. Time is fine. Apoapsis is fine. I think we're doing quite good here, as far as launch profile is concerned. About to lose the solids. There they go. A little concerned about my time now, especially with the added mass on the top that I did absolutely nothing to account for. But we seem to be fine. We're stuck at 1:06, which is well within what I like. Anything from 50 seconds to 90 seconds I'm pretty happy with. So went down 1 second. Gonna not be concerned about that. Apoapsis is already 55. I wanna hit an apoapsis of 100 eventually. That's why I'm doing such an aggressive gravity turn here, because I have a decent thrust to weight. My thrust to weight's going to drop when we drop this engine, but that's 1,000 meters per second. For now, we'll be at 2,000, and then we'll have another 2,000 to go. So I think we'll be fine. This is starting to go down a little bit more than I like. I think I'm going to lock it at current orbit prograde. Well, 20 degrees, whatever. Just to keep this time to reach from going down too far. I'm going to manually go down, because we're gonna cut our thrust to weight in about half in about 400 meters per second here, which is going to let's say make things interesting. However, we're still over a minute. I think I'm gonna lock it on prograde. Here goes our last stage here. Yeah, I mean we're gonna get back up over 1 pretty soon, and this high up going this far sideways, that's fine. If this gets down to say 50, it's going down pretty fast. I think I'm gonna tilt it up right now to 15. Just try to, if not stop this downward motion of my time, at least slow it down to the point where it doesn't really matter all that much. Abgas looking pretty confident. We didn't tell him that there's absolutely no abort sequence in this relaunch. There isn't even a parachute. He has his personal parachute, I think. Which makes it perfectly fine. Okay, our apoapsis is getting a little high. It's already at 90. I think I'm going to kind of bring this back down here. We're in space, so toss the fairings. Let's lock this thing on prograde. Yeah, I think we're fine. This time to reach is going down, but it doesn't bother me one bit. We're at 3,000. We've still got 1,000 meters per second in the tank, so I think we're still going to make it to space with fuel in the tank. Which this is doubling as a slight, small fuel delivery service to the space station. We're going to leave whatever fuel we take up there at the space station for any future launches that we just can't quite get into space. We can top them off there. That's what that space station is for. It's there only as a refueling station. There's nothing interesting going on there. The engineers are there specifically to be able to strip things of parts so that we can slap a different engine on something or something like that. We can launch something without an engine if we have the engine up there already. Save time and space on that. Okay, things are looking pretty good. We're almost at 100 here. I'm going to cut the engines as soon as we get there. There we go. And we're basically orbital now. We're very close to orbital. Let's go ahead and try to get this thing, see what it's going to take us. About that much. 170, we've got 505. Plenty, as they say. Let's go ahead and lock this guy. We should probably have some solar panels out. I think the main ship solar panels should be out. Just his, though, because he's the only one who could retract his. And we're not even going to dock this thing to the station. We are only going to pull up next to it and drop this guy off. So that the space station can grab it and drain the fuel from it, and then probably dock it to the station in some way. we have ways, but we got a minute here before our burn, so let's just get to it here. $100 by 92, 98, 101 by 98. We're going to leave it at that. I don't want to get my apoapsis too crazy. And let's see. There's this is debris. This is debris. Why is there debris still in orbit? That's my question. That stuff should have been. I think this is actually the. That's weird. I think this is actually the space station. Let's switch to this guy. I hope I didn't lose my save for some weird reason. That would kind of suck. Nope, no, this is my save. Yeah, this was the 2-ton debris, and this was the 59-ton debris. So I'm not sure what that other 2-ton debris is. But I guess I'll check that out off camera. It's not a big deal. But yeah, this is the space station. We're gonna bring. See, the problem is we got this thing already here. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to dock that thing to the station. We might just leave it in orbit, and then I'll come and pick it up later. But the problem is we need to get the engineer there as well. So we might as well do that right now. So let's go ahead and head back to our ship, which is ahead of this guy. So let's go ahead and switch to him. So he needs to, he actually does need to burn up a little bit. That's what happens when you don't plan your orbits here. So let's go ahead and set this guy as our target. See how garbage our tilt is. Looks like it's pretty bad. So right here, we will add a maneuver to tilt down. See how much that kills our fuel. Now all of this is wasting fuel that we're delivering to the space station, but hey, what are you going to do? And then we need to burn up just a little bit. So we're going just a little faster. Or a little slower, I should say, sorry. We got plenty of time. We have like a year before the Eve window, so no big deal there. So let's go ahead and turn this guy. I should probably have my solar panels in the sun instead of edge onto the sun. And things will get a little easier to control once we drop that launcher engine. I mean, it's really almost not even worth bringing up. If I wasn't going to the station anyway, I probably wouldn't bother. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and actually let's warp to it this way. I mean, at the very least, this fuel will get us to the space station. I might just deorbit it once we get there. Okay, that should be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now next orbit. Kind of sucks that we're doing this at sunset, but hey, what are you gonna do? Let's go ahead and go forward. I guess we want to do this over here. Forward a couple orbits. And then what do we got? 5 kilometers off. 2.2. That should be fine. And we could probably burn north a little bit. Surprised that didn't make anything better happen, but who am I? Should have just left well enough alone, especially considering I'm not even going to follow this node perfectly. Let's go ahead and bring this back down, though. There we go. Things over planning causes you to do here. 2.2. 2.2 is the closest I'm going to get. Let's just live with it. Let's aim at it. And we can get right close to him and relatively stationary and then just take an orbit around. That's not a big deal either. Okay. Oh, I think that was the station there. Oh no, that's the moon. That's cool. You can actually see you can see the retrograde motion of the moon in the sky as you go around. Or not retrograde, but what's it called? What's it called when the something orbiting, something that you're orbiting goes backwards in its orbit, apparently, but it's not actually going backwards. I'm sure it has a word. Okay, how close does that get us? 2.2 kilometers. Okay, let's go all the way to our periapsis again. Let's go into target mode and go retrograde. Let's see, where's our target? I guess he's above or below us. Oh, there he is. He's below us. Okay. I guess now we want to go radial in. See if we got a... we don't really have a... This isn't us. No, this is us over here. It's funny that we're not actually making our encounter any better by burning towards it. That's a little better. Okay, now we're going to go turn around. We got 4 minutes until we're going to be at our closest encounter. Watch our electric charge, although we have plenty. Yeah, we're not going to have any fuel to waste. I think what we're going to do is as soon as we get here, we'll transfer Obdus, and really we could just do it now, and then we'll burn this thing back down so that it's just going to burn up. Actually, let's just do that now. There's really no reason to wait. Obdus, hop on out. You put some crazy torque on the ship there, but hey, what are we going to do? Welcome to your new home, Obdus. Your entire goal this mission is to sit up here and possibly do absolutely nothing for the remainder of the game. Okay, let's go ahead and aim you guys retrograde. Oh, not to target, though, to orbit. And then we're just going to burn our periapsis down to less than 85. 80 is fine. Okay, then we're going to aim prograde. Make sure our staging is correct. It is. Oh, wait. No, the staging is not correct. It's this guy. Jeez, I'm glad I checked that. It's this guy and this guy. These two need to be activated, yes. So, stage. And then get our periapsis back up to a reasonable, give or take 100. Okay, now this guy is still, oh yeah, his periapsis is even lower now, so he will crash and die. And now the main ship is off to Eve. In 338 days, let's create a maneuver. We can kill this node here. And now we have all the satellites and everything. We have 1725. This ideally is going to get us into orbit around Eve at the time. If it doesn't, no big deal. These guys have plenty of fuel to split up and do their individual jobs themselves, and they probably will anyway, because especially like this guy has to actually get in orbit around Eve and things like that. So that's fine. We got 338 days, nothing to do. So let's time warp to it.